So you may remember that last time we did the 5.4 stuff, but we didn't get to the last, whatever it is, 5.5 through 5.7 stuff, which I told you is just a bunch of formulas. It's a bunch of formulas. So I think this test is going to have enough without those formulas. I think we'll go ahead and just not include those right now. We'll go over homework today. We will do a bunch of different review kind of stuff today. Then we have our test Tuesday. And then we'll come back to all those formulas after the test. We'll take one day to kind of show you all the formulas, what you need to do with them. We'll take like just a little quiz that next class and then move on to our final unit of new material. Okay? So we need to start with homework questions. You know what? Before we do that, I noticed with several people who were asking me questions this morning that a lot of you are doing more work than you have to. So let me, first of all, kind of do a little refresh your memory on shortcut thing, okay? Is it going to be all quiet today with Emma gone?
I can make it loud.
Oh. That was not a challenge. Yes. But let me show you something. I was telling, somebody I was talking to this morning, I think a good thing to have on the test somewhere is maybe you're given a function. You don't necessarily have to write this because it'll come up. All right. Why? So like, let's say I have f of x equals e to the 2x. And maybe you're given that. I would like to have a problem where one part of it you have to find the derivative of that, and then the other part you have to integrate that. Not that either one of them is hard at all, but just to make sure you have straight in your head the difference between the two. So if I said what's the derivative, you would say what? 2e to the 2x, right? But if I said, hey, what's the integral, wouldn't it be 1/2 e to the 2x? And I don't have to go through the u substitution to get there. That's that shortcut one we talked about, right? Do you have that straight in your head? Because I don't want, when we go through homework, we'll do u substitution when we need to, but I don't want to have to do it on the little baby ones like this that we don't need to. I mean, you're just causing yourself a lot more work. Okay? So with that in mind, you tell me which problem should we talk through from the homework? 91. Yes, a good choice. So you may or may not want to have that little integral list right there, the page 153 list that has all the different things to check for. So when I look at 91, here's my thought process. Y'all ready? Here's my thought process. I see exponential. Should I let u equal the exponent? No. The exponent is x, and we never do that, right? Okay. I can't integrate it as is. I can't separate it into individual terms. So do I see any of those other common things? Is there a parenthesis with an exponent? Is there a denominator? What do you see? Do you see the hidden parenthesis with the exponent? So that's how I know for number 91, I'm going to start by letting u equal the parenthesis 1 minus e to the x. Yeah, please. Top one. Okay? I think the hardest, I think the biggest obstacle in these problems is knowing where to start. Like if you need to use substitution and then what it is. So now we go through du equals negative e to the x dx. Holler at me when you have a question, right? And then dx equals du over that. All good? And so now when I rewrite this integral, here's the one I'm looking at. I'm going to rewrite it. I keep the e to the x that was there. In place of the square root, do you want me to write square root of u or u to the 1/2? All right, u to the 1/2. In place of the dx, I have du over negative e to the x. And do you see the magic?
That's nice cancel.
Isn't that nice? E to the x cancels e to the x. What do I do with the negative? Just move it out in front like a constant. And then all I'm integrating is u to the 1/2. Oh, that's the very first integration we learned, right? U to the n plus 1 over n plus 1. So I'm going to have negative, let's see, n plus 1 would be what, 3/2? So u to the 3/2, and instead of saying over 3/2, we're going to say times 2/3. Hey. Oh, I thought sure that was going to leave me. And then what's my last step? Change the x's back in for the u, right?
The textbook had a different answer for the final answer.
All right, let's look and see. 2/3. So we're going to have negative 2/3 quantity 1 minus e to the x. Do you know what they had?
Oh, maybe they have that. I didn't write it down. Yeah, that's what they got.
Okay.
How many points do you hit off before you get plus C?
100. Don't forget. But don't put it on the derivatives. Was that this class?
Yeah, that was me.
Was it you? I think it was somebody in the other class also. Actually, I think it was Brooks, and he was sitting in the exact spot you're sitting.
Wait, but I thought
Don't move. Don't
Wait,
move.
I thought C. Oh, you don't put C when there's boundary.
When there's well, no, you don't put it then either. But if you're doing a derivative, you don't put it either. I saw a hand. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I got another question.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, can we do 97?
97.
Yes.
A good choice. I had several people ask me about this one this morning. When I first look at 97, here's my thinking. Yeah, I do see an exponent of negative x, but that's not very ugly. Because that would be one that I would just do a shortcut on if it were just a negative x. So I'm not really that tempted to let u equal negative x. But anytime there's a tangent and cotangent, don't we need to change it to what? Sine over cosine. So let's start there. So if I change it, I'm going to have the integral of, I don't know what to do with that first e to the negative x. I'll just leave it there for a minute. And then I have sine of e to the negative x over cosine of e to the negative x. That e to the negative x that was out in front, I kind of make it look like it's on top. I mean, I could move it to the bottom if I didn't want a negative exponent, but for now I'm just going to kind of leave it up there. And I know it's this extra stuff that I don't like, but whenever I do the sine over cosine, aren't we supposed to look and see if it's a u prime over u? Okay, so let's think about it. If this is u, then u prime would be the derivative of cosine, which is sine of the same angle, but I'd also have to multiply by the derivative of the inside, right? And what's the derivative of e to the negative x? Isn't it itself times negative 1? So if there were a negative right here, wouldn't it be u prime over u? I mean, it would be exactly u prime over u. So it's harder to see on this one. So I'll just put a negative out here. And now I don't have to go through the work of letting u equal the denominator. I'm just going to get negative natural log of the denominator.
I'll see.
It's over here. You don't see it.
Oh.
Do what? Okay with that one?
Yeah.
Remember the one on that quiz that I gave back? I remember it was on the back page. It was at the very top. And it was like cotangent, I want to say 2x. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, it was.
So the one that we just did is very similar to that one. So anytime you see cotangent or tangent, you're going to change it to the sine and cosine. And think u prime over u. Good? Which one?
95.
Pardon me?
95.
I thought you
If
said,
it's easy, you could just tell me.
I thought you said 1 through 5. 95.
You could just tell me like the number.
No, it's a good one for us to talk about. It really is. You might be giving away my test secrets, actually. 95 is a good one for us to talk about. Hey. It's magic. I fixed it. Stop it.
Oh. Undo.
All right. When you look at 95, I might let u equal 2x. The reason I probably wouldn't is because I notice on top there's an e to the x, and on bottom there's an e to the 2x. I have two different exponents. So even though I might be able to change the bottom to be e to the u, what would that end up doing to the top? Do you see what I'm saying? Whenever I have different exponents, it's not very smart to let u equal the exponent. But, yeah, let's go back to the beginning of our integration list. If you can't integrate it the way it is, aren't you supposed to check and see if you can separate it?
Yeah.
Could we separate this one?
You could have that.
And could I think of this as this part, 5 over e to the 2x? Couldn't I just write that as 5e to the negative 2x? You know that? Minus this part. Hey, what's e to the x over e to the 2x? Don't you subtract your exponents?
Yeah.
X minus 2x.
Negative x.
That'd be like a negative x. So couldn't I just write that as e to the negative x? I haven't integrated, I've just separated. Everybody okay with that? And so the good news is I don't need any u substitution. For this one, I can leave the 5. This is that shortcut one that we talked about. Remember the 2x thing? So what's going to come out in front for this one?
1/2.
Negative 1/2. And then I e to the negative 2x, because the integral of e is itself. Bring down the minus. When I integrate this one, yeah, it is itself. And I have a negative 1, and the reciprocal of negative 1 is still negative 1. So that's just going to turn out to be that. If this were multiple choice, I think they would probably write it as 5 over negative 2 e to the 2x plus 1 over e to the x.
Oh.
You are like
Don't erase that yet.
guard of the plus c.
It's gotta be there.
Wait.
Okay?
Where'd you get it? Yeah. No.
Where'd I get what? What?
Oh, you just moved the e with the 2x to the bottom.
Ms. Langer was just talking about this idea of separating them. You know, in the business analysis class, the second semester, they start their intro to calculus. So they're doing the very first ones that we were doing with this, where you had to separate them. She's like, they were fine when they had to do the derivative of x squared plus 1, but when it became x squared plus 1 over x, they crawled under their desk, which is this. I said, oh no, not my class. You know, they're experts at that now.
You let her know that Sam Wagner got that on box.
You know, I didn't specifically mention your name, but I will next time we talk.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
The whole back row. Yeah,
The whole back row.
Back row.
He saves the back row. What? I was just going to say, what about 105?
I was lost.
Yeah, back row is actually easier too.
105. What about 105, you say? Well, every time I'm doing one of these, I'm trying to approach it from, hey, we're taking a test. I have no idea what type it is. What are some things I might try, okay? So when I look at this one, I see exponential, and that makes me think let u equal what?
Sine pi x.
The exponent. Of course, I also see trig, which makes me think maybe I let u equal the ugly angle, but the ugly angle is only pi x, right? That's not that ugly. 3x, 2x, pi x, that's not that ugly. So I think I'm going to go with the exponent. So if I let u equal sine pi x, what is du? Well, derivative of sine is cosine times the derivative of the inside would be times what? Times pi? Isn't the derivative of pi x just pi? Everybody okay with that? And so if I solve for dx, I'm going to have du over pi cosine pi x. So just because of my lack of space here, can you tell when I go to rewrite, can you see that this cosine pi x is going to cancel this cosine pi x? And so I'm going to have the integral of e to the u. And what am I going to do with this pi right here? Move it out in front as a 1 over pi. By the way, I'm glad we brought this one up. So here's where I am. Let me bring it here so I have some space. We have 1 over pi, integral of e to the u. So right now the boundaries are 0 and pi over 2. The pi over 2 is going to become a problem. Is that where you guys landed? Is that where the difficulty was on this one? And I can do it. I'll leave it pi over 2, and we'll come up with an ugly answer, and that's fine. But can I change it to one that I think will be a more likely one that you would see? I think it would be more likely, instead of this being a pi over 2, if this were a 1/2. Can we take it through that way? So, but still those are x numbers. So let's change them to u numbers. Ready? So if x is 0, and I plug it in, what is u? Sine of 0 is
0.
Still 0. Is everybody okay with that? If x is 1/2, and I plug that in right here, then I would have 1/2 pi, right? So what's the sign of 1/2 pi?
1.
Just 1. And this is where I end up. I think this is a way more likely place that you're going to end up. And so now when I integrate e to the u, what do I get? Don't speak all at once, e to the u, right?
1.
And then I still have the 1 over pi, and I evaluate it from 0 to 1, and so I end up with 1 over pi e to the first minus 1 over pi e to the 0, which is 1, and so there's my answer. Okay? Well, because you guys had pi over 2, and that gave you this like pi squared over 2 thing, it just didn't work well when you substituted it in. That's why I don't think that's a very likely. I think that's a much more likely, where you could actually use your unit circle and all. Okay? I tried to make a note to myself for next year to automatically change it before I even assign it. I think we need to talk about review. Right? Remember last class? We tried to drive home the whole second derivative. When is it a shortcut? When is it not? Remember I said I've tested it forever. You keep getting it right. You know, I was all mean and stuff. Remember that? Well, there was another kind. There was actually 2 more kinds on there that I tried to make a big deal about and drive home. Do you remember? On the online quiz?
Oh, the end.
The MN business. So here is what I've done. I went back to the last 2 online quizzes and the last test, and I found 4 of them that you've already done. 4. And everybody kept getting them wrong, and I kept putting them on online quizzes, and I thought, you know what? I got to make sure this shows up on this test. So I want you to try.
With a partner?
Sure. The first
Partner.
and third on this page. Okay? The first and third, would you send these that direction, please? And these I guess Cindy doesn't want one.
Can Cindy be my partner?
I was just gonna say.
Take this one down the road.
Cindy, you're my partner. I'm coming.
Okay. Would you, Madison, would you come back to? Okay. I think you all should try the first and third. They may or may not look familiar depending on how much effort you put into your online quiz or test corrections. Oh yeah, it doesn't show up very well. The first one is, are y'all checking this out? This is an equals right here. So it's the integral from 2 to n. Can you read the rest of it? And this is a plus right here. I just did a snip of what you had on the online quiz, so it doesn't show up very well. Don't worry about the second one. Do the first and third. Save the second and fourth to practice for your test. Can you see it up there?
Okay, what is this cheating over here? She clearly knows what she's talking about.
I knew that already.
Well, you guys should know what you're talking about too. We've already done these.
Obviously, background talking to talk, but.
Can you read it okay?
So this is 2n cubed.
Hey, Andrew. They are working on the first and third one on here.
I was just taking English quiz.
Do what?
I was just taking an English quiz. Kind of took a little while.
Who do you have for English?
Miss Merriman, but I was in Miss Rowley's room.
What?
Not Miss Rowley. I was in Miss Rose's room. Miss Rowley was there.
Who's Miss Rose?
Miss Rhodes?
Oh, Rhodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they should never keep you out of another class taking their quiz. Did they write you a pass?
No, you want to do the other one?
No, not right now. I want you to do this.
I honestly personally lost track of time.
What? That first one was from 2 online quizzes ago.
Right, so when you get to the, that's just figured out. That's where I got confused.
Yes, 2.
Keep in mind, the x is the variable, the n is the constant.
On the third one, this name here.
Uh-huh.
Never mind. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's hard to read, sorry.
We did one.
Yay! First and third. Do the first and third.
Is that an E?
Yeah, I have it up here.
Back row got number one on locks.
Number one's down, huh?
Actually, I'm not.
Alright, I thought we're not supposed to do, wait, are we supposed to do 10? Yeah, we're not.
Yeah, the first and third one.
Oh, okay, come on now. Oh, yeah. Is that a negative one?
It's from -1 to e of 1 over x plus n.
I thought that was understood. Things like ours. I was just checking. Are you straight? Wait, this was on our last online quiz.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yep.
I know. Just checking.
Is it 2? Did I do something wrong? When you bring this 6 in, won't it become? Oh, I see. Never mind.
I got my quiz correction wrong.
Whoa. Wait. Yeah, I know. That's why I said whoa. Come on, H.
Don't you have
So
a 2 on the?
Where's that 2 go?
This is the right answer.
Oh, yeah, no, because that's the divide.
Okay, back row's on locks.
You got the third one too?
Two.
Yes, 2 squared plus 2.
If you definitely have the first one, check and see if we agree. All right, don't look.
Only the first one we're not originally.
Oh, yeah. Then bring everything over from this side over yeah, that's right. But, so what do you have plug in? I plug in 10. Like this.
So it's going to be 4 and x to the power 2.
Yes.
Should have learned that math in quiz today.
Back row, did you get the third one right?
I remember the answer from the online quiz, so I knew what to double check it with. What was the first one from?
It was from the online quiz before that. The last one was from the test. All of these are ones you've had assigned before.
We are in a little predicament.
Okay.
We're I thought it was right, but then she's getting a different number than me.
Or come over here.
Yeah.
When you take a 2 out of a, where'd that 4n come from?
I did. It was negative 8n plus 4n.
No, it was negative 8n plus 4n. You didn't put it in parentheses, right? When you subtract, you got to subtract that whole thing.
Oh, so mine.
So really, it's a negative 12n. Is that what she had?
Yeah.
Yeah. Parentheses.
Oh, you're back in. I need to get back in. I'll probably get back in tonight. Just do another excuse to spend $30 to CVS. Yeah, I only had 51 points, so that's pretty good. PRA, bro. It's a 30-point triple double night and it knocked out. Yesterday, CJ was trying to tell me that straight. I'm still doing too. CJ, oh, he's a hot.
Where's the issue? Is it on integrating with the ends, or is it on the computation, plugging everything in and making it work?
I don't know why it's right here. Issues. Yeah, I don't know why.
All right, hey, you back row guys that think you have this, while they're finishing, let's say I'm sitting down, I'm making the test, and so I'm going to make one that looks like this, but not exactly the same. What about if I do the integral from 0 to 1 of e
Oh, never mind, I'm out.
to the nx. And let's say, no, actually I'm going to change it to say 1 to 2, not 0 to 1. From 1 to 2. And let's say this is supposed to equal 10. I have no idea if this is going to work. I just made it
Oh,
up.
it's gonna work.
Okay.
I don't care how ugly it gets.
All right. What? Yeah, just a second. Look at my work up here.
Yeah, I did basically the same thing, but I was so confused on what part you know.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Okay, I figured. We figured it out. What happened in the next?
Bro, Miss Napier, this is a lot. I don't know what to put.
Yeah.
Maybe there's like 4 in. Okay. The one you just wrote.
I'm getting ready to adjust it so that it is. Hey, you guys. What if you guys that are trying the new one that I made up, what if I just adjust it and put a minus e to the n over n at the end? I think that'll help. I'll be right there, Andrew.
Yeah, no, catch both up. Yes, it's they cancel. You just add this. Multiply the one. You know what you're talking about. Because it's a Which one? This one? Okay. Yes, it is.
Dang, that's still gonna make it be hard to solve.
I don't know what to
Do you do your substitution for this?
Oh, wait.
You know, I know what'll help. I know what'll help.
All that does is
Make that 10 be 10 over n. This is for you guys that are just trying my middle one here. If you make that 10, if you make that 10 be 10 over n, won't that work?
Yes. Now we gotta deal with that. We gotta square root that joint.
I'm remaining in one.
Whoa! I don't know, is that the word? I don't know. Whoa! Hey, can you freeze it?
Yeah, wait, no, take it.
I don't want that one. Don't look.
No, it's actually, you know, the answers to two of those on here, I was like, it's just 2x.
There you go. That should work.
It's not actually.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, sorry.
How do you get it out of the expression?
By the way, she does I don't know where she got it.
I got it, Mr.
What?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. I can't believe, I
Was
thought I
that
had the same thing as you, and I was like,
It's an easy thing to miss.
Let's go.
Yes.
Oh, she just put it in the bottom. What?
Oh, dude, that's what we got.
Yeah, that's literally what we have, but how?
By the way, we did it.
So, which of those, that third one I was, because some of you guys were done and I thought, hey, how could I make another one that would be more applicable to this test? So, of those three, which would be the two likely ones that you would see on this test?
The last one.
Well, the last two. Why the last two over the first one?
The first one no logs in it.
Right, there's no logs or exponential. It's the same type, right? But if I'm trying to really emphasize exponentials and logs, wouldn't I do something that's going to bring those in? So you know you're going to see that, right?
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
All right. I
Wait, don't.
think we should play
Basketball?
a little
Basketball.
And he was on Oh, I'm big.
roulette.
With a basketball shot at the end?
We might be able to work that in.
Wait, like this type of roulette? Like Russian roulette?
If only. No. I have here your test.
Oh.
Um,
I'll take a look. Yeah,
and I was thinking
I like this.
we could pick a number and I could look at that question and write one down very similar that you could try.
13.
And as long as someone gets it right, then you can pick another number.
Unlucky 13.
And if nobody can get it right, well, then we're done.
Unlucky 13.
No, wait, no.
Actually, 13 is a really good one to start with.
Unlucky number 13.
All right.
Got to be lucky.
Maybe we had to do the easy ones first.
Yeah, so
What if
Yeah, we should have one with number one.
Oh, the person who gets it right gets to shoot the basketball?
Yeah, they can either shoot the basketball or they can pick another question.
Wait, we all. Sorry. But if it goes in, then we do all of them. And we just shove it out.
Yeah.
Wait, this is, are you recording?
Yes. All right, so number 13. I'm going to say, well, there's more words. I'm just going to say the words and give you the specifics. It says, find the value of x if f of x equals natural log of x on the interval from 1 to e. Okay, find the value of x when the tangent line, you know what I'm going to say?
Oh, no.
What?
Is
Is parallel to the segment joining the endpoints. So find x. Find the value of x. Hey, wasn't this the other type that was emphasized on the online quiz?
I got you, Miss Nick.
This is cash.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is cash.
So it's
Solve for x. Find x.
Why you think that? Oh, that's E. Oh.
What? Like a tree.
Well, I thought she said
You want what?
Nope. Remember, this test isn't multiple choice. It's just all do the problem, show the work kind of thing.
you are asking
You guys should be sisters.
You just cross multiply. You just cross multiply. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and cross multiply.
Now, Shator, if Vanessa needs a little help, I need you to help her out.
Yeah. Keep asking for answers.
You know, I'm sorry. That's just how she is.
we're trying to find the.
Find x. Solve for x. Solve for x.
So basically, you guys better hope you got this right because back row's getting ready to shoot the
I got a deal for you. If we get a right answer, then somebody can shoot from the back row. I mean, I don't care who it is, but it has to be that far back. And if they make it, then everybody gets 1 point on the test. And if they miss it, then I subtract 1 point.
Oh, let's do it. Come on, guys, let's do it.
So
No, that's I'm pushing my board.
I'll take my 101.
Wait, can you set
Hey, don't be
Move
crying.
it farther back.
You can get yourself out of this.
I'm just turning it.
You can get yourself out of this deal, but don't be crying for that 1 point when I go ahead and splash it.
You have faith in Sam?
I have full faith.
I'll probably just play for fun like a gentleman.
If he, if,
Oh,
he
this
does,
is fun.
if he does left hand, that's 5.
All right.
Minus 5.
Brianna, do you have an answer?
Yeah.
What do you have? X equals,
E minus 1.
that's what I have.
That's what I have. That's what I have.
Is that what you guys have?
Oh, no, please. We did this. Yeah, I know. I'm
So did you set the derivative equals to the average rate of change?
Yes. MVT. Classic MVT.
Classic MVT. And this one worked out so nice and neat because you have 1 over x equals 1 over e minus 1. I mean, hello. Right. All right, who do you pick to shoot? Yeah, you get to pick. You can shoot, but it has to be from the back row.
I don't want to do it.
Wait, are we actually doing a minus?
Wait. Here, what happens when they miss?
Well, something has to happen. You have to owe me something.
Yeah, how about like 5%?
That's like run all the way through the street.
Oh, okay.
No, I know. I have an idea. So we keep track of the positive points and the negative points. Okay. If you end in the positive, you know what I mean? After we tell them up, if you end in the positive, then everybody gets 3 points.
I like it.
But if you end in the negative,
I like it. Extra homework.
then you all have to figure it out, and somebody has to bring me Starbucks.
Oh, I like it. Lowe's got it. Lowe's got it. Just text Lowe's.
All right, Rihanna, who do you want?
Everybody text Lowe's.
It could be anybody.
Oh,
Sam.
Sam.
All right.
Okay, Sam.
Come on, Sam.
Hey, aim for the box.
It's pretty light. The ball's pretty light, so you got to give it a little bit.
Don't shoot too hard.
Oh!
I thought you had it. All right,
You look like that
I'll
one
shoot it.
Michigan.
Brianna, what number? Between 1 and 18.
Between what?
Between 1 and 18. We just did 13. Come on, pick. One. All right. Number 1, sometimes the basics get you. All right. So number 1 would be something like. All right. Apparently we can't play anymore. Find the derivative if y equals e to the 2x over pi. 2x over pi is the exponent. Find the derivative. Find the derivative. That's integration.
Can't you substitute for?
We don't usually, but find the derivative. You're making it way harder than it is.
Oh, wait. Oh my gosh. You gotta be tripping for no reason.
Derivative, not integral.
No, I know, you don't flip it. That was for myself. Just had to get my brain. Would you like me to show up? Oh, yeah.
It's just the
Is
same.
there a calculator section?
So everything's gonna be on the test, or just logs and.
Well, you'll see when we start picking. The reason I'm doing this is because I want you to see how I could ask these questions that would bring in old stuff. Kind of like that mean value theorem one. It was still exponential log, but you had to remember mean value theorem. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show you here. All right. Vanessa and Shatur, do you guys have an answer?
Yes.
What do y'all say?
2 over pi e 2 over pi x.
Yes. That's what I have. Don't you just, derivative is itself times the derivative of the exponent?
Oh, that must be an extra point for us.
Yeah.
That's at least
That's like another shot.
You
Yeah.
gotta go at least a roll up for that.
Oh, can I pull it? Because I like made.
All right. Who do you want to shoot? But you can shoot, but it has to be from the back.
Oh yeah.
It has to be.
Come on. Now.
Yeah. Here you go.
You already know about it.
Watch this where you gotta make up for my loss.
I either make it or make it.
That's how it works.
Oh.
Honestly,
Oh.
I really couldn't make it.
You guys are pretty good. All right. Shatur, Vanessa, pick a number between 1 and 18, other than 1 and 13.
4.
4. Ooh, 4 is a good choice.
Good choice, Shatur.
4 is a good choice. Find dy dx if 3x equals e to the natural log of 2y. Find dy dx. Find dy dx e to the natural log of 2I. Think smarter, not harder. Think smarter, not harder.
I cannot do that for you. You gotta derive it though. What? The opposite.
Did you think smarter, not harder, Isla?
I like to think I did.
I like to think you did too. Because if y'all did, this should be pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty easy.
I have faith in. Did you say Isla?
I did.
Oh yeah, Isla.
Do you have faith in her?
Definitely can make that. She can definitely make
Wait,
that.
so if Isla gets it wrong.
Then I ask somebody else.
Okay, yeah.
Just the class has to get it right to keep going. All right. Isla, what do you say?
3/2.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
DYTX.
3/2? That's what I got, I think. Is that what I got? Yeah, that's what I got. Is that what you guys got? Did you think smarter, not harder on that one? Because e to the natural log of 2I is just 2I, right? Did y'all notice that? I got to slip that in somewhere, you guys. Right?
Hate when that happens.
Isla? Who?
No, Rams got it. Give it to her.
Yes, you
She
do.
plays
Fine.
basketball. She plays
From,
you gotta
from
go.
behind the row. Back row.
I think Fiona is in orange.
She's the only person.
Keep in mind, it's very lightweight.
Come on.
I know what you do.
Find identity.
One hand?
No, I'm just trying
Yes,
to
one
see.
hand.
Which
Brianna, you move. Come on.
Yeah. Okay, that means nothing.
Don't be scared of the underhand.
Oh, so close.
All right, Isla, pick a number between 1 and 18 other than 1, 4, and 13. 5. Another good choice. They're all good choices. There's no bad choice. Number 5 is find the integral of 3e to the pi x. Find the integral of 3e to the pi x.
Don't forget your plus C, guys.
Watch, Sam's going to be the one who forgets it all over the test.
They hate nature, but they don't know about me.
I'm afraid that number 4 and 5 are going to make you think this is an easy test. We need to...
Wait, what?
I am confused on the organization.
I'm constantly getting that confused.
You go to the game? Basketball.
Austin, you and Andrew got this one?
Sadly not,
No, why not?
because we're not into like.
There's T-shot pitching.
T-shot.
What do you do with the 3?
T-shot through both games yesterday.
What do you do with the 3?
Because the
Hit that
first,
Oppo top though.
the first game.
You don't know what to do with the 3?
After the game finished, I'm gonna watch it do it and try to practice. And so he just threw like,
Well, T-shot that Oppo Taco Grand Slam.
yeah, Taurus is a nice ball.
McKenna, you guys got this one? Come on, Eliana, I know you do.
No.
Right? I bet you are. What did you get? Tell me what you got. Why did you just erase your answer? Eliana, why you do that?
Who sold?
You're good at these. How come you're so insecure about your answers all the time?
It doesn't sound.
Sam
One
got it.
quiz.
Oh, I
Good
got
at
it.
these.
Send it to me.
Do you have an answer? What'd you do with the 3? Okay. And then is e to the pi x a shortcut or no? Okay, so what kind of shortcut? What do you do? So that you mean e to the pi x? Yeah, and then what? What do you do with the pi? You guys, we just talked about how you do the easy integration of e, didn't we? Wasn't that the very first thing we talked about today? Look, Andrew, you weren't here. Austin, you were here for this. See what you missed when you're taking quizzes for dumb old English, Andrew?
Yes.
Right? We said shortcut of e to the 2x, when you integrate, just brings out a 1/2.
I've now realized that math is understood.
All right. Ingrid, I know you got that one, right? What did you get? What answer did you get for that one, that last one?
In Ingrid we trust.
Well, you know what? So far we're batting 0. So what you got?
I got 3 over pi e to the pi.
Excellent. And that one,
Sorry, did you 3 plus e?
and that one,
I think she said plus.
there it is. You shouldn't even have to think about that one. The 3 comes out. You have e to the pi x, which is the shortcut. I'm not trying to be mean.
That was for the.
They're not getting easier than this. Ever. Ever.
It's okay if we put like E on by the 3.
Yeah. Okay. Ingrid, who do you want to shoot?
Yeah.
Ingrid, shoot yourself.
Ingrid, pull that.
By the way-
Got that tray.
Take out 2 and 1/2.
We're over.
Ingrid,
Hope you like Star
who do you want to shoot? Zach, you want to shoot?
Zach has a
Okay,
broken
Zach's on
hand.
IR. He's got him up around.
Hey, this could be doubles.
We're on fire.
Actually, and you can shoot from right there.
Oh, please don't miss that.
Find
Hey,
it.
find it.
Just
Look
hit
at
the,
the
like,
rim.
bottom
Aim for the
of
rim.
that board.
Aim for the rim. Aim for the rim.
Like, just like hit that back. What, like,
It's sad when the handicap guy has to carry you. All right, Zach and Ingrid, whoever, pick a number between 1 and 18.
18.
18.
You are so influenced, Zach. What in the world? All right, 18.
You gotta get deep.
All right, 18 is a 3-parter.
Can you show me that little integration I missed? You showed me again.
Well, in a minute. 18.
You missed that.
18.
I studied that, so sort of. I'm like-
If f of x equals the integral from 0 to x of e to the 4t dt, then part A is find f of 1.
Got me in shock for part.
Part B is find f prime of 1. And part C, f double prime of 1. Part A is the hardest part. B and C are the easier parts. It's not that hard, but it's the hardest. Or I should say the most steps.
Okay, so
Oh, this is light.
It is. I'm a little embarrassed to even show you.
no way this is that easy. It has to be.
It is.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. You gotta do it for the rest too.
Yeah. No, you're straight. Good sheet, guys. Can I give the class a tip real quick? Make sure we're not forgetting our shortcuts.
Make sure you're not forgetting your shortcuts.
Yeah, just a quick tip from Zach.
This is the one I was talking about when I told you guys earlier, hey, I'd like to have one where you have to go both directions. Remember that? How you doing, Chatur?
I don't know. I probably did it wrong.
I don't know about part A, but part B and C are lost.
Maybe not. Did you do it all in your head?
I thought it was just like, just putting one thing.
Well, for this one, this means you plug one in for x, right? So yeah, integral from 0 to 1. But the integral of this is not just that.
Yo, X on the side, boys.
And that's what you
Yeah,
do.
that's what
Oh, okay, so I kind of did.
For A.
This ain't a team sport. Thank you much.
Are you all over this one, Chloe?
Oh, is Chloe all over this one?
Like, did I do that one? For the second one, I don't know about 8, but
So for the second one, you're integrating,
yeah.
but this says to find the derivative, right?
Cool.
I'm a little disheartened in that this is what we just made a big deal about last class. Okay, come on, Chloe. Restore my faith, all right? All right, Chloe, what did you get for part A?
E to the 4th over 4 minus 1/4.
That's what I got.
Yep.
So for part A, if I want f of 1, don't you just plug in a 1 everywhere you see an x? And so if I'm integrating from 0 to 1, I actually have to integrate, right? And that's where you can use your shortcut, your 1/4. Is everybody okay with part A? Question on part A?
No. Not for me.
Chloe, who will be doing the honors for part A?
We need.
All right,
Mumsy, please.
Can I turn it back?
Come on.
turn it like straight,
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
like straight like this.
yeah.
Oh,
Just hit like the bottom of the.
Put it in the basket.
Into the rim.
You must
Into the rim. Into the rim.
I ain't giving him a tip.
oh. All right, Chloe, keep going for B. What do you say?
B, I said E to the 4th.
Is that what you guys said? Because isn't that the shortcut? Isn't that the one where we say, oh, look, f prime of x is just e to the 4x? Is everybody okay with that?
We forgot plugging in 1.
And then f prime of 1 is e to the 4th? Everybody good there?
Yeah.
All right. Who's got that one, Chloe?
Chloe, you take it.
Go Holden.
I'm holding cash out to the cash counter.
So it's always going.
Thank you.
It's respectable. Still a miss. All right, Chloe, what about letter C?
I got 4 times e to the 4th.
Right, don't you just take the derivative of your derivative? If this is f prime, then f double prime is the derivative of that. So do you see, this is one where you had to know how to integrate, and then you had to know how to do the derivative. All good? Chloe?
I heard Ingrid wants some pole.
Oh, Ingrid.
Come on, Ingrid. I love it when the girls always outshine the boys. Except you got to go to the back. You're not handicapped like Zach. Come on, Ingrid. I so want you to make this.
After Ingrid makes it.
Come on.
Wow.
I thought.
Wow. That's snowflake interference. Everyone knows that.
Chloe, pick a number between 1 and 17.
13. Did we already do
We did 13.
13?
15. Good choice. Ooh, 15 is a good choice. Come on, you guys. Don't make me feel like I wasted the last class period. Number 15 is the integral from 1 to x of 3 over 7t plus 2.
We integrating?
Integral from 1 to x. And it
Why
basically,
is it dx?
oh, dt, sorry.
Oh.
Thank you. dt. There it is.
I'm trying to find out.
Just evaluate the integral. No, you're not solving for x, you're just evaluating the integral.
Where are you?
I don't think I did. There's not much. Oh, you're not like that? Really? Ah, I did it. Oh, nice.
we not solving for x?
No, you're just evaluating the integral. You can't solve for x.
Oh, oh, never mind. Gotcha.
Did any of you do the shortcut-ish one on this? Manipulate it into that so you don't have to go through the whole thing? Did you do that? Think you got
At the
it?
beginning, but I'm
Leave it as the 10th of the natural logs.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. You have to leave it as natural logs. Rihanna, read us what you got.
3/7.
Uh-huh.
ln.
Yep.
Absolute value.
Yep.
7x plus 2.
Yep.
Minus.
Yep.
3/7.
Yep.
ln. Absolute value.
Okay, so I got that. That's correct. However, for an extra shot, can someone tell me a simplified version of that answer?
Absolute values.
Wait a second.
You gotta combine them, just combine them.
Okay, and if you do that, what would you get?
3 over
If it's
7,
minus.
7x plus 2 over 9.
Well,
Or
natural log.
Natural log. That's 7x plus 2 over 9.
So because of the subtraction, you could combine them into one. You could say natural log of this over 9. You see what he's saying? Which would look like that.
Very nice. Does the whole thing have to go in there?
If you combine them. Yeah. All right, Rihanna, who gets 2 shots?
This seems like they want to shoot.
Give it to John.
See who wants to
John.
shoot.
John for sure. John.
John.
You just one.
Do you want to shoot?
Kai wants.
Oh,
John.
Kai,
I say we do
1, 2.
exact 2 shots.
Yeah.
You don't get 2 shots from up there.
He only has one arm.
Wait, we had another miss.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you can't.
Okay, but if he makes both of these, if he makes both of them?
He can have 1 from there, and 1, and you guys can have 1 from back there.
Okay, no, yeah, so, yeah.
So
you
Zach
take
gets
one,
one,
and then Zach gets one.
Zach gets one.
Do you mind if I adjust the... Alright, I'll...
Yeah?
Take yours first, and then if we make both, everybody intentionally gets the next question wrong.
Alright, you get a sack. You can get one shot.
Yeah, Kai's
Right, well, Kai's going
this
first.
I'll go first. Come on, Kai. Come on, Kai.
Oh.
Hi. No.
Come on, Zach.
Alright, this is easy.
Find it.
Zach.
Find it.
We need you, Zach.
Yeah!
So that was a 1
Nah,
and a 2.
close enough. We're getting.
All right,
Hey, just
Rihanna?
step back, that's it.
can I pick for you?
Sure.
How about we pick number 14?
Been saying 14. What a great number, honestly.
Number 4. I'm trying to pick some that will show you how the question could look different than what you're used to, okay?
Tell me if I get another chance.
Number 14
No, look them up.
says if dy dx equals
Oh, this is where we're gonna prove it?
e to the x y cubed, find this at the point 0, 2.
This might be a leave blank where you would
No.
know.
No.
I do enjoy doing that.
Don't be that person who doesn't do product rule.
I was thinking about product.
Is that just-
Just second derivative. So just take the derivative. Plug it in.
Just don't be that guy.
This one's not harder than ones we've done. It just looks harder because of the way it's written. That's why I wanted you to see it. Just take the derivative and then plug it in.
Easy.
Oh, it's product rule.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thought it was way simpler than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Where is it? Oh, gotcha. Yes, except for one thing. When you do the derivative of y cubed, because it's a y term, what do you have to put at the end? Right. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Right at
Does
the
that
very
change the answer?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Because now when you plug in your 0, 2, you're going to have to plug in something for dy dx.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah, but you gotta get that out. But this is dy. And then just dy dx.
This would be no calculator.
What?
Gonna get a numeric answer, right? Kind of large-ish.
Okay.
I did it wrong.
Kind of a large-ish number. I mean, that's relative, but 3-digit.
3-digit?
Wait, but I don't know. You have to do
If we had to know this, like now, during a test, I was just never thought to do.
That's the thing. It looks so much harder, but it's just a derivative
So
problem.
3 digits or like 1,
3 digits.
2 digits?
3-digit answer.
Negative or positive?
Positive.
It's a derivative. It's a derivative.
Are you plugging
But you have to remember to plug it
in for
back.
X?
I'm plugging 0 in for x and 2 in for y.
Exactly what I had.
What are you setting it equal to?
I'm just plugging in and simplifying. Zach, did you get a 3-digit answer?
Yeah.
Oh, Zach.
Alright, there's no way.
Okay.
What?
Right there.
Good job, Zach.
Which kind of hero is just
Oh, never mind.
Oh. Yay! Did you get it?
Oh, no.
Oh.
I'm confused on what to do after that.
Okay, good. So now, plug in your 0 and 2.
Cool.
So that,
0 and then, but what about dy dx? Isn't this dy dx?
oh my goodness, I didn't see
I
that.
got to negative 88.
Mhm.
Is this it?
Yes. Oh, nice. All right. Austin,
Oh, product.
104.
what'd you say? Austin and Zach say 104.
What's up?
I take a picture of that.
Get it? Yeah. Did you get it, Chloe?
Yeah, so I did that right here.
Rather you had the
And then I plugged in.
So the key is,
YDX and then.
yeah, the dy dx, you got to go back and pull up the dy
I
dx
just didn't see the
and plug in.
Okay, yeah.
Did you get it, Todd?
Well,
Oh.
Sam, did you say right? And then I was like,
Yeah,
well, don't you gotta do this?
Well,
And
it's
then
about
he was
to
like,
push up.
no,
He said he's gonna lick his foot if he doesn't.
I can hear him saying that. All right.
Oh, Sam.
Ooh.
Time to lick your
What is that
foot.
rim?
Time to lick your foot.
No, that's rim, bro.
All right.
Oh.
Why is the rim bouncy like
Zach,
that?
I think Zach is our only hope at this point.
Can I pick for you?
Yes, please.
How about I'll give you a 5, 6 to 4. I'll give you a 3-pointer.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
For 3 points.
A
Here you go for 3 points.
This could be our last shot.
Last one. All right. It says you are told that the velocity is
That's just derivative.
e to the t over e to the t minus 1.
It's unnecessary this time.
A. All right. You know how it goes. Particles moving along the y-axis in such a way, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Part A is find the velocity at 1. Part B is find the acceleration at 1.
Oh.
And part C is the speed increasing or decreasing at t equals 1? So they all kind of go together there. Again, I'm trying to show you how I can bring in other stuff that's not necessarily chapter 5 stuff, right?
What is e to the 1 equal?
Pardon me?
What is e to the 1 equal?
E.
Oh yeah.
Just leave it as E. We don't want a number. Your answers will be in terms of E.
No, e to the first is 0. So the first is not 0. E to the first is e.
What's E to the 0?
1.
Isn't e to the 1 0?
Natural log of 1 is 0.
Okay, I'm getting my logs confused. Can you chill out? So much hate. Don't ever let me say that. I don't want to hear the word bullshit word. Derivative of the top times derivative of the bottom minus top times derivative of the bottom over the derivative from, or over the bottom square.
Yeah.
That's closer. Cool.
Derivative of top minus.
No, this is we're not. It's saying you probably won't.
Oh. Yeah.
It's like close.
I'm just doing it. Now, you're multiplying these things, right? So, here, let me finish plugging
Oh,
it
wait,
in.
wait, wait. No, so that should add. No, that thing got distributed wrong.
What is the value? Is this right?
Huh?
Is right? Like,
Oh, wait, no.
I haven't finished it yet.
I didn't.
So,
I
are,
thought that was.
are you doing a quotient rule?
Yes, ma'am.
And when you do your quotient rule, aren't you multiplying though?
Yes.
If I were you, like over here, I would do your quotient rule in terms of t.
Mhm.
So we can see the multiplication and then plug in.
Okay.
I don't think it is.
Oh, jeez. I would not do that. I just explained it to you.
Thank you.
I remember. It's increasing the sign.
So basically, A and B, I'm setting you up for C, right?
A and B. And A
Well, isn't that the rule?
If the signs are the same when it's in basic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you start?
Only have absolute values on natural logs.
Oh, I got
You're tripping. You're not tripping.
You can tell. If you have a correct value, you can tell.
It cancels.
Steve, you're not the same thing.
0. The E squareds cancel out, but don't you still have an E? When you plug in your 1?
I get perfect, you're right.
That's not what I got.
Oh,
What happened to this?
canceled.
You can't cancel that when that's part of subtraction.
Dude.
Is it just this?
No. You can't cancel that.
Cancel what?
Right there.
Why not?
Because this is a part of subtraction.
Oh, it looks so beautiful.
Distribute your E.
Could I do that and then plug in 1?
Yes. Oh. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Excellent.
Why not want to do that?
What are you doing? We're not integrating. If we were integrating, and it would be a U prime over U, we're doing the derivative, right? Okay, McKenna, put in your 1 because I want your part B answer. Put in your 1 and you got it. All right. Vanessa, did you get A? I know you did. What'd you get for A? Uh-huh. Right. So on A, all you guys did was plug 1 into this, right? Right? Everybody good?
Yeah.
Part A? Okay, there's 1. All right. McKenna, you plugged in 1, and what do you have?
Still plugging in 1.
Tell us what you had for your simplified, hold on here. Tell us what you had for your simplified derivative that you showed me.
Negative E plus E over E t minus 1 squared.
Okay, so after she did the quotient rule and she simplified, she got it to here, and that's correct. And now plug it, what's so hard about plugging in 1? If you plug in 1, don't you just have negative E to the first over E to the first minus 1 squared?
That's what happened.
You just didn't want to say it. So there's part B. Okay, there's part B. And so now, is A positive or negative?
Positive.
How do you know that? Because E is 3-ish,
Bigger than 1.
right? And if I have 3 over a positive, it's positive, right? Is B positive or negative? How do I know that? Because the denominator is positive, negative E has to be negative, right? So is C increasing or decreasing? Decreasing because of the different signs? I don't consider that high of a difficulty level. All right, 3.
Buzzer beater.
Who's got the ball? All right, who's got it? No, 3 from back there. Who's got it? One shot for 3. All right. Hey, should I put more pressure on you?
Yeah.
Steph Curry? If you make it, I'll just give you what was going to be the test as your review. Go ahead.
Oh, shoot.
Should I move it at all?
We also get
Gotta
the points,
make it.
correct?
Sure.
You want a different angle?
Oh,
Man, she's
You like
that
it?
confident we're not going to hit it.
Give me a countdown real quick.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Oh!
Actually, I decided I was going to give you this for the review anyway.
Thank you.
We don't want your opinion.
All right, awesome.
No.
So you guys are working on this.
Yeah.
I'll be working on making a new test.
Okay.
Here you go. I'm going to lay them right here.
I
Grab
realized
them.
that we were actually gonna get 100 on that test, so.
And I like caramel macchiato, just so you know.
Andrew.
Whoa, you heard her? She has a caramel macchiato.
Alright, got you. Venti.
Where did this negative?
Yeah, sounds like a venti to me.
No possible
When
way.
you were,
Like, we
so
should
you're doing a
use four.
quotient rule. Did you do a quotient rule?
We did, we still won.
Yeah. As a part of the numerator,
Whenever
we
we
use
use
simplify. You just, all you have left is negative.
Nobody only scored once. I mean, just scored once.
It's, there's a stack going back there. Hey, the review test is back there on that table by Eliana. You got it.
Everyone knows you can't get higher than 100.
And I'll post the answers. To that. Do what?
Can I see the ball?
Now watch you make it after you didn't want to shoot earlier, Andrew.
What?
I said, watch you put it in.